Hey, Steelers Nation, what a strange day it turned out to be in La Trobe. If you had told someone a year ago that the Pittsburgh Steelers would end up walking through plays inside a gym on a basketball court no less with pads on, they would have laughed you out of town, but that's exactly what happened. It wasn't some wacky conditioning drill or quirky new training method, no. It was nature that made the call. One clap of thunder in the distance, and boom, practice was over, just like that. Players began heading up the hill, coaches gathered their gear, and a voice came over the loudspeaker asking for everyone's attention. Practice canceled, and with it, the first real session in pads a huge loss. Especially this early in camp, that might not seem like a big deal to some. But anyone who understands what those padded days mean knows this isn't just another missed session. Pads are when you see the truth. That's when you know who's ready to hit, who's in game shape, and who's just been cruising through off-season workouts. The fact that this session was scrapped, it stings, and it sets the stage for what should be a pretty intense bounce back. Today, weather permitting, of course, but while yesterday's padded action got washed away, the intrigue didn't, not even close. Because for a split second, we all saw something that made heads turn and eyebrows raise. Darnell Washington lined up looking like a left tackle. Yeah, you heard that right. For a moment, it looked like the massive tight end had been plugged into the blind side. Now, in reality, it wasn't quite what it seemed. The Steelers shifted both tackles to the right, and Darnell just slid up a bit next to the left guard. So no, he's not taking Dan Moore's job or anything wild like that. But just for a second, the visual was real, and man, it sparked a wave of curiosity. It also stirred up another ongoing conversation. Among the fanbase, one name in particular keeps coming up. Broderick Jones, or as some fans seem to be calling him lately, *brick*. There's this growing chatter about how to avoid him screwing things up. That's the tone some folks are taking, whether they're saying it outright or just dancing around it. And look, if that's not you, fine, but from the messages, the comments, the noise coming through, there's definitely a sense of unease around Broderick, and I get it. He's had a few reps in camp that didn't look great. One in particular blew up all over social media. Someone shot a video from the bleachers, posted it online, and suddenly it's viral. Broderick getting beat clean, looking lost. The kind of clip that lives forever and never tells the full story. But here's the deal, none of those moments happened with pads, not one. No full contact, no live hitting, so trying to evaluate an offensive lineman based on that is like judging a quarterback off how he spins the ball in warm-ups. It's football nonsense. Pads matter. Contact matters. That's when we'll know what Broderick is or isn't bringing to this line. And speaking of Broderick, it's worth pointing out that he's made some major off-season adjustments. He didn't just show up the same player as last year. He dropped weight. He's quicker now. The guy worked to change his shape, shift his profile, and be more adaptable in live reps. He knows he got caught flat-footed at times. He knows the jump he needs to make. And Mike Tomlin, he knows it too. After yesterday's practice tour, Tomlin made it clear Broderick is expected to be out there today. No ifs, no excuses. That's been the tone from the head coach for a while now when it comes to Broderick. It was that way last camp too. The kid would come over to the sideline and talk about some tightness, some soreness, some nagging issue. Nothing dramatic, nothing soft, just stuff most players keep to themselves. Broderick was honest about it. Tomlin, though, he wasn't having it. His response was always the same. Did he miss any reps? No. Then next question. It was all about whether the guy was doing the work, regardless of what he was feeling. That's the standard. That's the pressure. And it's way more intense from inside the building than anything coming from fans, media, or people like me. If you think you're putting pressure on Broderick, just know it doesn't even touch what's coming from the locker room, and that's how it should be. That internal pressure is what builds real pros in this league. Take Zach Frazier, for example. The kid had a rookie season that turned heads, legit top 10 talk at his position. Maybe even top 5, depending on who you ask. But ask him, and he'll tell you flat out, it doesn't mean anything now. Year 2 is everything. He knows the expectation is higher. He knows the job isn't safe. And right now, with Isaac Sumalo sidelined, guys like Spencer Anderson are being thrown into fire. Anderson has to prove he can be that swing guy, the backup for both guard spots. And he knows his number is going to get called in 2025. That's not a maybe, that's a reality. Then you've got someone like Troy Fautanu. 55 beautiful snaps in week to last year in Denver, and then nothing. That was it. Done. He knows the potential is there, but he also knows nobody's handing him anything. We talked the other day, and it was clear he doesn't feel like he's arrived. He doesn't feel like he's shown anything yet. He's itching for reps, for game action, for the chance to put real film out there. He's grinding, and you can feel that energy from him. And while we're on the topic of young linemen making strides, Mason McCormick deserves a shout-out. He actually saw consistent action as a rookie after James Daniels went down, only gave up to sacks the whole season. Pretty solid, right? But guess what? Both of those sacks came in the playoff game. That sticks with a player. That's the kind of moment you carry into every rep. In the off-season, every lift, every drill, McCormick talked about that yesterday, and what really stood out was his comment about expectations. He said, "We're not as young as we were last year. I mean, we're still young. But it's time for us to take a jump." That says it all. They know where they stand. And they know what's at stake. So yeah, there's pressure all around. It's not just Broderick, it's every single guy on that line. Because the Steelers have a reputation to uphold when it comes to physicality. They've always been known for that tough, gritty play up front, but reputations mean nothing if you can't back it up. Not in today's NFL, not when defenses are faster, stronger, and more complex than ever. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. The Steelers still have over $17 million in cap space. Fans are wondering why that hasn't turned into a shiny new wide receiver or a veteran tackle. It's a fair question. But here's the thing, Omar Khan has a process. He's not going to spend just to spend. Yeah, it was frustrating last year when the wide receiver room lacked depth, and it showed. Especially when Mike Williams came in and barely saw the field. That was a mess, no doubt about it. But Khan learned from that. At least, we hope he did. From what I'm hearing, wide receiver is still very much on the radar. And no, he's not working with the full $17 million like Kevin Colbert before him. Khan likes to keep around $5 million tucked away for emergencies, injuries, late season additions, you name it. So really, we're talking about $12 million to play with, and if he's going to use it, it better be on someone who makes an impact. The tackle market, that's a whole different story. There just aren't many quality options left. If you've got a decent tackle, you don't let him go, and if you do, you're asking for trouble. That's why someone like Dan Moore is about to get paid big time in Nashville. That position has become one of the most expensive in the league, and the supply just isn't meeting the demand. So yeah, adding a tackle might not happen until cuts are made. Until other teams make tough roster decisions, that's when Khan could swoop in and find someone who adds depth without breaking the bank. Until then, it's on guys like Dylan Cook and Calvin Anderson to show they belong. Cook needs the flash, and Anderson has to prove age isn't catching up to him. If they don't, then maybe we see a late addition before the regular season kicks off. Bottom line, this Steelers team is right in the thick of figuring out who they are. Training camp is where that identity gets shaped. Yesterday might have been a weird one with lightning, canceled practice, and a walk-through in a gym, but these moments still tell us a lot. They reveal how players react when things don't go as planned, who adapts, who takes the initiative, who uses every second to get better, even when it's not under the spotlight. And if today brings sunshine and pads, you better believe it's going to be a statement day for a lot of these young guys. There's no hiding in full contact, no room for excuses, just football, the way it's supposed to be. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's a growing buzz in the NFL world, especially among Steelers fans and analysts alike, about a potential blockbuster signing that could shake the very foundation of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The name on everyone's lips, Tyreek Hill. Yes, you read that right, Tyreek Hill. Arguably one of the most explosive wide receivers in recent NFL history. Could be on the verge of becoming the biggest acquisition the Steelers have ever made. While nothing is official yet, whispers and speculation are swirling through sports media, social networks, and insider circles, igniting a frenzy that the Steelers faithful haven't felt in years. The possibility of Tyreek Hill landing in Pittsburgh is the kind of story that sends shockwaves through the league. Hill's electrifying speed, unmatched agility, and game-changing ability to turn any catch into a highlight reel make him one of the most coveted offensive weapons in football. For a franchise like the Steelers, a team known for its steel curtain defense but hungry to reclaim its offensive dominance, Landing a player of Hill's caliber could signal a new era. Rumors suggest the Steelers are aggressively exploring ways to make this dream a reality, with discussions happening behind closed doors and key insiders hinting at preliminary talks. Imagine the impact Hill could have on Pittsburgh's offense. Paired with the Steelers' dynamic quarterback, his presence could open up the field like never before, forcing defenses to rethink their schemes and opening opportunities for other players to thrive. The Steelers have been searching for that explosive element to complement their strong, but sometimes conservative offense, and Hill fits that bill perfectly. His ability to stretch defenses vertically and create big plays on short notice would give Pittsburgh a potent weapon that rivals the likes of some of the league's top teams, of course. Acquiring a player of Hill's stature would be no small feat. The Steelers would likely need to make significant moves, whether through trades, free agency, or salary cap maneuvering. The financial implications alone would be substantial, but the payoff could be enormous. Executives and insiders are reportedly considering all angles, weighing the risk and reward of what would surely be the franchise's most ambitious signing to date. While Hill's current contract situation and interest from other teams complicate matters, the Steelers' history of bold moves and willingness to invest in star talent lends credibility to the rumors. What's fueling this chatter? Even more is Hill's own trajectory in the league. He's demonstrated consistent elite performance and has become a household name. With his explosive plays and highlight reel moments, this kind of talent doesn't come around often. And the idea of him bringing that electricity to Pittsburgh has fans dreaming of deep playoff runs and possibly even a Super Bowl appearance. Analysts are debating how Hill's skill set fits with Pittsburgh's offensive scheme, and many believe that with the right quarterback play, the two could form one of the deadliest duos in the NFL. The Steelers' fan base is already abuzz on social media, with many expressing hope and excitement at the mere possibility of such a signing. Forums and fan pages are flooded with discussions about what Hill's arrival could mean. From immediate offensive improvements to long-term franchise legacy, this potential move, even as a rumor, has sparked a renewed optimism reminiscent of the franchise's glory days. Could this be the start of something special? A pivot that propels Pittsburgh back to the NFL elite? While the details remain murky and official announcements are still nowhere in sight, the mere speculation about Tyreek Hill joining the Steelers has already captured the imagination of football fans everywhere. The Steelers have a storied history of building teams that balance grit, toughness, and explosive talent. And adding Hill to that mix would certainly rewrite the record books for biggest signings in franchise history. If the rumors come true, it might just be the most thrilling offseason in Steelers history. For now, all eyes remain glued to Pittsburgh as this story unfolds. Is this just wishful thinking? Or could Tyreek Hill really be the marquee player who transforms the Steelers into championship contenders? The NFL offseason never disappoints when it comes to surprises, and this potential deal could turn out to be the biggest headline yet. Stay tuned, because if the Steelers do pull off the signing of Tyreek Hill, it will undoubtedly be remembered as the most significant move in the history of the franchise. A true game changer in every sense. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.